Welcome everyone, in case we're live. Now, of course, tiny hiccup, just realized can't check enough as usual, pulse audio failing here, live desktop Linux in 2019. Welcome everyone to this live stream. As you see, we took the precious Ultra 5 out here and connected the battery for the aftermarket previous year NVRAM battery, and somehow, by the way, shout out, it didn't instantly work, so I took even the serial cable out because it didn't power on. Something probably with NVRAM content, so then I did not even have serial output, so whatever, caps lock was flashing. Pulled the battery out here and started it, and then it started. So yeah, also recurring theme. The issue is I didn't leave the battery in here. Usually, of course, you either want to solder a battery and not this, by the way, not this XT. I also wonder if this is a date code and that is 1188. I wonder if this PC battery is from 88. Anyway, you certainly don't want to leave it leaking there on somehow. This is, anyway, I didn't have it in there, and if I leave it in there to avoid this. I also measured this, so if this is from 88, maybe, I don't know, 3.6 volt high energy lithium battery, then totally not sure though, maybe it's also something else. Anyway, it still measures 3.6 volt because certainly it's also super large and huge, whatever. Anyway, while we are copying here our data, of course this is highly upgraded. Serial ATA card here, previously original as per the previous videos. I of course was running this from the Adaptix SCSI card, and also random testing here. This is how much time everything takes. Where did I now place that here in the slightly crowded office? I had a USB card here somewhere, because also here off camera I soldered here the USB connector in preparation for some SGI MIPS work. I knew I had to, so I don't have so many USB cards, because why? And I knew I had a broken one, and I found it in my archived stuff between the VGA cards. And so the broken one, so this was broken someone in 2005 or so. I was like the usual, having cables on the desk and crazy engineer style, I broke the USB connector off there with something, USB thumb drive or whatever, keyboard, pulling too much on the keyboard or something of that sort. And yeah, since then it was broken. This only had, as you see, it only has 2 ports, and with only one of the 2 ports working wasn't too much worth anything. And there you also see, don't just throw the stuff away. And only now, so what I've done, not live on YouTube but maybe in the future I really live stream each and everything. So what I've done the other day, which I might have posted an Instagram post, because only this amazing stuff live on Instagram. So what I had in here instead, because certainly I used this somewhat as a somewhat nearly daily workstation back 15 years ago for the Rock Linux and later T2 stuff. So I had another card here with a whopping 4 USB 2 ports here with an NEC NEC chip here of USB 2 goodness. And so I had this in here. You see date code probably week 13, I guess. That is, why does it say 3 Sun? That is an interesting coincidence, not really. Anyway, I guess I brought it from normal PC supply, but I'm not sure. So what I've done the other day is I nearly ordered a USB connector, but because I was impatient and didn't really have anything else to order, I just desoldered this one. So until some days ago there was an internal USB connector, so just a little bit of desoldering practice, and I soldered it on there because, yeah, whatever. Also saves the environment, not ordering some lonely USB connector if I right now don't need anything else. And so yeah, maybe eventually sometime soon, if not forever. Anyway, some MIPS goodness. Welcome Dietard, welcome everyone else in the audience. So I need to test this USB ports actually. So what we are doing here on this amazing, at least I hope somewhat, setup, want to test the latest T2 build of SPARC 64. Also, I will most likely totally professionalize the setup sometime soon. I said this already in previous videos, so most likely I will stacks this here nicely with network booting, and so like network booting, just one press of a button away. So let's take this amazing keyboard here, Iota 2, 60 something percent something from the other videos, and plug it here into this just soldered USB card to see if it works with my own theme here of where would be here. It's this old-fashioned stuff. I'm not really sure which one I soldered, either that or the other. Let's switch to this input. So hey, that works. Amazing stuff. I've literally not tested this, so this is live testing on YouTube. This also explains why do I have a USB aftermarket PC card in there. Yeah, that also works. So fixed there, USB port, tested here. So also, yeah, why do you have a aftermarket cheap PC card in your SPARC? Because exactly thumb drive scanner, exact scan, goodness, don't delay, certainly test that today. And otherwise, yeah, amazing amazing trackpoint keyboard, because why not? So this test how well. So yeah, that card works. That leaves me with this card. Also, well, actually in retrospect, I could have actually soldered this in 2005. Not really sure. I've not done that. Maybe too busy with all this Rock Linux testing and whatnot. So yeah, that works. Also, we probably, if we rcgp start. Yeah, so track point here of this amazing goodness on an Ultra 5. Probably will test this, plug this out, because not really using that today. So if you are interested in this amazing keyboard, previous videos, plenty of them, soldering, teasing, finding it, teasing it, and fun stuff. And yeah, so then that leaves us with, because certainly not in 2019 will not buy another USB card, but maybe we plug one of those soon into an Octane or Origin if we get some XIO shoehorn stuff eventually for that fun. So yeah, this is still rsynching. We can maybe port that. Also, this is the right keyboard. Yes, it's the right keyboard. 0 drop frames. Welcome everyone. Christian it is. I thought it's Detard, sorry. Anyway, everyone welcome, even if I saw the name half and stuff. So I'm rsyncing this here as per usual. Let's see how much we rsynced already. Change root. Can we already change root into here? Okay, we can. And this here is, we can also switch it to that view, and for your viewing pleasure. So how much time is spent in all of this? Wait a second, do we have not backspace working? Strange cross-compiled stuff. So this is a build from the other week. Also, how could backspace be so off? It's hilarious. Anyway, etc, SDE. I'm not really sure if I ever had that fun with backspace. Certainly some terminal stuff. So yeah, built 10 days ago of the recurring theme of yeah, this is also the latest greatest. So can we already run GCC? We can. So 9.2 latest and greatest, and yeah, this is probably proc not mounted here, but certainly proc CPU info here, the precious UltraSPARC 2i Sabre integrated FP, what, Ultra, PMU Ultra, okay, anyway. Ultra 5, does it say that here anyway, but doesn't matter. Let's continue this rsyncing. I will probably do one more reboot test, aka how much is here even, 1400. So this is, by the way, initially, as per the previous videos, I made a dedicated video, so this stream will not be the most long, just doing the testing here and keeping you up to date. I think, so when I got this, so when you get an Ultra 5, it doesn't have any PCI cards, so all of those PCI cards are regular, old-fashioned, good old regular normal PC updates from myself. And most of them I was running like this when I was using it as a workstation. So initially I've run this with this Adaptec card that is not bootable, but yeah, whatever. I have a IDE flash module in there, I think. Yeah, there it is, probably, maybe some of Yeah, anyway, and I was running this with an UltraSPARC drive, which was 2000 latest and greatest. In the meantime, because I needed the UltraSPARC card for something else, maybe the Octane, I guess. So I, since last year, also previous YouTube videos, I first time ever tried here some AHCI, or maybe not AHCI, some serial ATA card, some Fast Track 150, promise, not paid advertisement, eBay junk, PC stuff. Probably not AHCI actually. So just for the serial ATA goodness, to have here some somewhat laptop hard drives there of spare Apple parts. Just you could also plug an SSD in there, but don't really need an SSD in each and every vintage system. And back in the day, as I said already, USB for maybe USB keyboards and other scanner related exact scan and thumb drive business. And yeah, so rsynching this, and what we will probably do if this, so we see already the binaries work. Sometimes, as I said, sometimes the cross-compiled binaries do not even work. But not only on, where did we test this recently? So many videos and testing. Was it the Octane? And yeah, right, that was Octane, SGI Octane MIP64/N32. Tested this the other day, here live on YouTube. And as I said, I will most likely make this, like make a stack. Need to work here on studio background, maybe stack this in the background here, that it's always nice visible, those nice machines. And network boot them, and like network boot and mount this, so like have on a network server the latest T2 builds of last Sunday or something, like fully automated, switch them on, have them test boot into the latest system and like highly automated, because as you see, otherwise this manual testing just takes way too much time if we want to sustain this here into the future live on YouTube. How many are still? Yeah, also if you rsync this with all this doc stuff, then you rsync here plenty of docs. Let's top this here and see what kind of, I've not even used this previous build so much too, so busy with everything that, yeah, okay, load average actually 2.99 with secure shell. Secure shell rsync, and yeah, actually 2 times SSH for all the crypto and stuff. So yeah, that is yeah, unfortunately single CPU, but that's what my fastest SPARC I have to date. Sometimes I was thinking to maybe buy an Ultra 45 1.6 gigahertz dual socket, but yeah, prices are increasing, and also the recurring theme of spending money for testing open source stuff. One thing here, it's a little bit taking a while here. Let's see, some people watching at least. We will, I could actually prepare to boot this. Also, I noticed already with just testing this here why I prefer the big R's ISO key, why I test, because I sent the other German keyboard with the Ultra 5 giveaway to the Netherlands, and I kept the US keyboard because otherwise don't have so many US keyboards. And guess how often I just pressed today here on this pipe backslash. So yeah, big R's enter key for otherwise constantly pressing that. So yeah, that is why I DIY built this ISO variant there of that sort. I definitely will, however, test the kernel to see if that boots. Wait a second, where also, yeah, wrong keyboard obviously. So this is still rsyncing, and here we could take a look. What have I? So I only probably test boot this once. That is, so you see either the live of Rock Linux T2 or YouTube. You have so much stuff to test or film that don't even use the systems. Although we had 360 megahertz, also not the most amazing. Was already not the most amazing 2005 as a daily desktop, and certainly even slightly less in 2019. Maybe even probably the dual processor Octane is even slightly more amazing. Also this Mach, whatever, ATI X could be more amazing. Anyway, certainly the amazing looks. Well, yeah, there you see this Octane slightly more powerful with dual 250 megahertz, should be slightly more powerful, certainly more snappy with dual single symmetric multiprocessing. Not as much delay of interrupting and task switching, of moving the terminal or scrolling the terminal. They're in real parallel of two CPUs, but of course Octane is louder and right now does not have an as amazing X server. All the stuff we should actually be working on. So copy, boot, let's see, did we build the kernel, or don't tell me we built a kernel 5.3.6 over the other day. Copy 5.3.6 to here, maybe also with -AV something. And so this is from the rsync new partition, or not partition, new change root to this boot thing. I, by the way, hope that is on the IDE. Should we? Yeah, boot is on HDA, because certainly the otherwise serial ATA is not bootable here. And then lib modules also rsync, or not rsync, copy here all the lib modules, that here to here. Okay, this is probably should work like that. Lib modules. So yeah, also Linux recurring theme here. Linux frame buffer top-notch scrolling speed of 2019. Also too many terminals here actually. So yeah, but as always, leave me in the comments what you're looking forward to see, what you're here for, what you're the most interested in. Even this, so by the way, how many, what's 30, okay, we are outputting 30 frames to YouTube. Let's double check the stream health. Stream is healthy, amazing stuff. By the way, I hope you would have told me if the audio would suck. Yeah, this is not even the full test, because even for the full test I would need to burn an ISO image and yeah, just switch over. I hope the scrolling speed is faster with the stuff not drawn to the frame buffer. How many files are still 3000 of? Yeah, there you see. Actually not even sure what kind of build this was. Was it so this is on this Ryzen here for that build. VI SPARC config SPARC 64 configs. That is a just minimal with all the, especially with the stupid documentation files for reading the freaking manual, already large enough. And why can this be so slow though? This poor 360 megahertz SPARC apparently, as you see, really busy copying, rsyncing, if you were wondering how fast is a 360 megahertz. And yeah, certainly the frame buffer scrolling time. You would also think that the ATI Rage Pro something Mach 64, whatever that was. So yeah, we finally rsynced. So we probably, I'm not sure if that built a proper init RD, so better MK init RD 536 dist, I think it was. MK init RD. Yeah, even that will take a while. Just better rebuild this than be sorry, because otherwise also what? And bad RSS counter state. Oops. No such file directory. Also the Debian people, I wrote somewhere on a forum, yeah, there are some bugs, and Debian people tell me I would be lying, everything is amazing. Yeah, some nice, only here if it's visible live on YouTube. I could frame capture this with this, but this is a little garbage binary only. So yeah, 536 disk, 536 disk. Why is this not 536 disk looks okay though. Slightly wondering why that doesn't. Did we build an init RD? Not sure. Actually, we have some init RD here from the Interesting. Maybe let's try the luck. Let's see if that boots at all. Also, yeah, dmask is Happy Meal, receive fee for overflow. Oops. So yeah, so much to Debian people publicly freaking out and shaming me for being an unsuccessful Woman distribution. Everything in UltraSPARC land is amazing. Also actually some Cyril 80A. Yeah. Vintage hardware in 2019, only here live on this channel. If you were wondering if you have something to do and everything just works. Let's see, where is our ZiloConf? Maybe here. Also, yeah, if you want to that I spend more time fixing all these issues and making all this fun stuff, then don't forget to share, like and subscribe for all this fun stuff here, because as you see, everything takes quite some time. ZiloConf, read it in again to have here a duplicated entry. And then let's call this Linux. What do we have? We have Linux something, and let's call this Linux 5. And that was 5, so not really sure if this will boot, not tested, but who knows if this initRD was correctly cross-compile built, whether the kernel works, whether all the Happy Meal overflowing 536, all this overflowing bus reset even has here this file transferred correctly. So yeah, also here some excellent attributes were not transferred. I've seen this, all this functions implemented. This could be either not working on SPARC at all or some cross-compile glitch. Recurring theme here of cross-compiling stuff not working correctly, either because bugs or our setup. So in theory, that probably could work, I guess. So Zilo Linux 5.5.3 does this. 5.3.6 probably could work theoretically. Let's reboot and see how lucky we are. And Devin, welcome. People brought all the cheap SPARC workstations on eBay. Yeah, by the way, I still have one, so I sent one away. I still have one to give away, but again, shipping costs in euro have been 32 euro, 33 euro. That is certainly not, yeah, shipping something from China Post in China to Europe is cheaper than shipping something from Germany to somewhere else in Europe. I have some theoretically to give away, however, the one I have to give away is without the, because someone recycled it to me, so also do we boot or do we still have some NVRAM? But yeah, we get something. So then we Linux 5 here and see what happens, if we are lucky or not. You want an Ultra 45? Yeah, I don't have an Ultra 45. I also want an Ultra 45, even they. So I only regret some that I didn't. I think some years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, I could have got an Ultra 5 on eBay for 400 something. And back in the day, some 5 years ago, I thought it's expensive. Didn't really want, like, the problem is if I spend so much money, I already don't really make money except your YouTube views, share, likes and subscribes and Patreon donations. You guys totally rock. Thanks for every one of that. So it's not yet crashed. Loading. Okay, it's loading. Yeah. Actually, why is this so large? Is it again with debugging or? Let's see if this, always when this is so large, sometimes it doesn't work. So let's see if that works. I somewhat regret not buying this, whatever, 300 euro, whatever that Ultra 5 was, because now everything is more expensive. Now they want, the prices are crazy for people like you and me wanting to have a little bit of hobby fun here. And in my opinion, these prices are a little bit for open source contributors contributing open source, and then they should spend 600 to 1,200, yeah, fast data access MMU miss. Often this happens if this is too large, so much to that, or whatever esoteric nonsense going on there. So I only regret not buying this Ultra 45 when it was more affordable. Nowadays, of course, The prices are even more crazy. This is also why I still sit with this decade-old, 15-year-old. What kernels do we even have here? Let's see, which, not even sure which this Linux was. Anyway, people get fast all the cool toys. What do you mean with this? Yeah, so yeah, I have one Ultra 5 to give away. However, that might be not, so that might be without memory. Not sure. Maybe it's without memory, or if it has memory, very little, and it doesn't have this hardware rails there for the actually this kernel is also rather this init is also rather large, so maybe something else is wrong. So there, this hard drive there is on some mounting rails that are not the most visible in there. So the other one doesn't have this, maybe because the person was only running it from a network or something. So, but it's not the big of the deal. You can just cut and file your own bracket if you, yeah, this init. So yeah, maybe new regression or just totally too large. Whatever might be up with that one. Also, yeah, stuff getting larger and larger. A decade ago, the stuff was booting instantly. Now, even the booting takes like quite a while. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's it. So, still some. This is why I pre-test this a little bit. At least the user space binaries work. Also, one lesson learned, I sometimes ask, do you rather want minimal or minimal XORG images for publication for you to download and play along at home? And yeah, not fscheck for 17,000 H, which probably is wrong due to NVRAM battery. I mostly, keyboards are bad as too. What my dad had a Pentium MX, it's the most cool thing I have here, even a P3 working is hard to find in my country. So where are you from? You find this some keyboards back. As the funny thing is, other keyboard reviewers, I think those famous YouTube keyboard reviewers tell you this are pile of garbage. Of all the stuff I criticize, I agree they are, well, the membrane stuff is not the most amazing, at least they're silent, but you see, I even use it here on my YouTube setup for the live streaming keys. Also, password is test, don't need to hack that. Let's take a look here on init.rd, so 536. So the init.rd is huge, so the other init.rds are much smaller actually. Can we try to 536 this? Can we build a new one? That might be, let's see, so maybe this, as you see now, it works with the same commands, so much to Debian people telling me I'm lying when I'm saying there are some new problems in SPARCland, but yeah, whatever. So lesson learned, I learned like today and the other day with this testing, because I switched to only building a minimal build. Minimal meaning, well, minimal is in this day and age, everything getting larger and larger, bloat and stuff, GCC larger, glibc larger, Linux kernel larger, that I probably want to build a minimal XORG build, because even for myself, it would be annoying now to natively build, like after a minimal build with only the console and compiler, kernel, console stuff, without X. It's not feasible to cross-compile or to native compile, you know, hundreds of packages for XORG, XORG server, libx11, all the XORG drivers that would build for sure with like GCC getting slower, sources getting larger, for sure that would build a week or so. There you see why do we cross-compile everything, well, as much as we can in T2. I wanted minimal build to save me of fixing all these cross-compile errors and binary download size, but sitting here with an Octane and even a P3, which is not the most fast, but Ultra 5, it would be totally annoying to cross-compile, to native compile with 360 megahertz now all this stuff for a week. So most likely, lesson learned, I have to, as much as more time it takes for me with fixing, you've seen all the videos, if not previous videos, fixing all the build errors, that yeah, it's much more work, but it's much more usable for you and even for me, although it is so much more work, which yeah, you could share, like, and subscribe for supporting that. Let's see how large that becomes. I remember somehow whatever fancy stuff is going on there with that stuff, that init.rd can't be that large. You see how much stuff is copied in their archiving. So I have the feeling this will be again the same to large. And also you see you don't need this $300 Yoda keyboard. They are certainly fine. And even for example, I'm more productive on this kind of keyboard than on the latest Apple crap. So yeah, also hello test. Can we a little bit oversaturated this? I have the feeling that becomes too large, so maybe VI has been also, yeah, your own Linux distribution, you just VI the mkinetRD script. So let's drastically reduce the stuff here. So that would be like we need some of this stuff, but maybe comment out message. What is SD? I don't know, SD something. So remove all of this fun stuff. Remove all the virt.io, like basically this whole line. USB, probably we also don't need to boot. Certainly all, yes, there you see how to remove all the stuff to make the inetRD much smaller, to maybe boot a second time. Yes, this is still archiving because there are reasons. Probably cancel this already and do this again for hopefully much less. Yeah, so one lesson learned. So you probably see from all the, and by the way, I just today spent already here hours in the office supporting exact scan. Don't delay, try exact scan paperless office scan software stuff with exact code today. Sitting on like new macOS Catalina makes me really depressive in a way. There's so much wrong, like the partition, disk utility partitioning stuff crashes, even the Finder crashed today, even the email program is annoying. I have to say, you don't need to spend like other YouTubers telling me, today we unbox this and buy the new iPhone. No, not only I'm not the greatest fan of the design, but you can have so much more fun and be so much more satisfied with what you have, what even you get somewhat cheapish on eBay, or even if this is getting up in price, but still you for sure can find stuff cheaper than, well, at least if you watch it and monitor it. Should try to get PCC more GCC compatible. Yeah, you mean for this build time? Yeah, not really. But so I will not, for other fun stuff coming. So we will also continue with low level stuff. I'm also a little bit, leave me in the comments below or right now or later. Should I continue to put so many efforts in maintaining all this exotic vintage retro Linux stuff here from even 32-bit SPARC, previous video, SPARC Station also here, and even this like Octane, or should we try significant, like Linux is boring and also getting obsolete in a way, like totally old-fashioned design of monolithic kernel and C and stuff. Is my time better spent on microkernel, more innovative stuff? Leave me in the comments here below later or whenever. Because of course people tuning in and find this amazing, hopefully anyway. But for me, yeah, decades with Linux, yeah, also regressions. Of course, for me it would be more fun, and maybe for you a better learning experience, and maybe even more fun to write. And I'm so thrilled and tempted to write a more amazing microkernel system because bugs and stuff. But leave in the comments what you think. Should I perfect Linux on this or microkernel, for what it's worth? And maintaining the, so one comment already, recommend maintaining the exotic system. Well, I will keep maintaining them anyway. I have them. Well, fun fact, I even purchased this, right? So I purchased this from an official like leasing, like this for sure was in a bank. I guess this was either in the German bank, like Deutsche Bank, or at something like Telekom. This I purchased with my own good money when like everything I could save as a student for 270 euros, I think. So it's not like someone gave it to me for cheap. And plus all the aftermarket PC updates. So I will for sure, like, I keep them because amazing collection of museum at home. the only question is, if I do, well, anyway will do microkernel stuff. Yes, you see, by the way, set standard compression takes a while, whatever size this is. Are we even, by the way, still compressing here? Yeah, set standard, for what it's worth here, of, yeah, set standard is busy. I will certainly keep maintaining this. The question was more, should I more focus on? Certainly I kept doing Rock Linux and T2 for 2 decades, now 20 years. I will of course keep it maintaining, because you see is also Devin V SPARC is his favorite Unix hardware. Yeah, I like them more equally. This is why I still keep updating this. So I will, as much time as I put into Rock Linux and T2, we are approaching 50,000 revisions in Subversion, which certainly probably is amazing, especially with keeping all this MIPS 64 better than ever, PS3 support better than ever, SPARC. Well, SPARC is a little bit rotting and regressions, but this is not our fault. Our SPARC support better than ever, but just like Linux kernel, yeah, larger and bit rotting and always some new bug. I will for sure keep maintaining this. The question is more, the good thing is, you see probably from all the videos also last night on the other channel, some massive cleanups and yeah, constantly doing something. Also the FPGA uses synthesis suits, they are perfected the package in T2. So of course I will just keep maintaining, because you probably see this is so nicely automated and structured that it, like, even one man plus some people who help and send patches, totally easy to keep maintained. So, but the question is more like, by the way, why do I talk so much? Because we're waiting for set standard compression to finish. By the way, should probably not hit the desk so much because rotating hard drive. But yeah, do it, finish. Yeah, can do it. Davai. Davai, by the way, Russian here, or Russian knowledge. Anyway, so why do I talk so much? Because I want to wait this compression finish. And recurring theme, why do we usually cross-compile and cross-compress this? Hey, thanks for the super chat donation, Devin V. Awesome work. Thanks, that's totally motivating. Also, yeah, there's also recurring theme here, like Lewis Rossman style, and not making, by the way, while we wait for the compression, I can actually look up. Much appreciated. It's a pity that we are a little bit stuck with super old kernels on the SPARC Station 2. I would so like to perfect this. And if we continue with what do I even stream here? Instagram, whatever, something here. Let's take a look on the posts of soldering here. So that would be that one here. Can we also somehow, what, did I not like my own post here? I'm not logged in, that explains why. How to make this... Anyway, so yeah, there is the soldering of that sort, of this card, so that would be not making this up. So there you see Lewis Rossman style. You can even repair your USB connector if you broke it a decade later. Hey, we finished compression. So let's see, what is the size now? LS. So that is init RD, significantly smaller, only 8 point something, so that may be more bootable. Let's see if that is the issue. Otherwise, we could file VM Linux, all of them. So these are all 64-bit SPARC, something, SPARC v9 not stripped. Is that right, that we're not stripped? Anyway, yeah, let's give this reboot one more try. So not Control Delete on the wrong keyboard. Yeah, thanks for the super chat, much appreciated. You see from, yeah, it's somewhat challenging to put so much time and effort into this, but so this is for Devin, double shout out for that, and all the Patreon recurring theme there. When we continue so with the microkernel, for sure I will keep this maintained because I have it anyway. So approaching 50,000 revisions, we keep this maintained. The question is more like, the good thing is, of course, with Linux there are so many contributors, although bitrot, regression and bloat hello, why is this so? By the way, probably is this, usually I wish I could change this display to expand aspect here by default. I slightly wonder if that is, so it's wrong, darn it, wrong kernel boot. Wait a second, we can stop A, no? Why can't we stop that? Apparently not while that code is busy. If we definitely continue with some microkernel abstraction stuff and low-level stuff also for my fun and your education, and your also fun and education. I will most likely try to, if and when and so on, gradually over time. Yeah, somehow. Usually you can stop A here in, I think it was stop A, wasn't on Sun and Open Firmware. That I will most likely try to write a minimal kernel like hardware abstraction level for at not all SPARC, but the SPARC I have. So yeah, now it's decompression, and by the way, maybe is this slow for set standard? Not sure actually. It might be not that I crash it now with pressing Control. Stop. No, we can. Yeah, actually a little bit. Yeah, you have there still some open firmware for stop A. Goodness, and then when you want to stop A, then it was busy. Ideally, I would want to have actually example code for SPARC, MIPS, and RISC-V and ARM and stuff, and ideally hardware abstraction layer of like, yeah, this is why. So we have here Linux 5. Let's see if that works now with a smaller init RD, and then have like a little bit hardware abstraction level like a nano kernel, and then even that would actually, the more I think about this, also like, you know, with waiting for stuff to compile, you have some time to think if you're not answering your commercial customer's email. And so the more I think the ideal setup would be like some nano kernel, nano meaning it's not like the most minimal library like framework like abstraction, and then to use this nano kernel like this hardware abstraction level, hardware abstraction library level like whole, like Windows or even Materials also doesn't work so much too. And there's probably something wrong with the kernel, I fear. Anyway, it's probably then so much testing we do today. Power off. Yeah, that is the cool things of this BIOS. We can take a closer look here for that build here, one last look. And then I could continue live streaming, but then the streams are getting too long, and I have the feeling the longer the streams, the less people watch them. Even a good friend of mine in Berlin said, the long, you know, are you crazy with your 1, 2, 3, 4 hour live streams? How should I watch them? Those long videos I do not even click on, so yeah, probably should do that then. That would be SPARC 6432 something of generic or whatever sort, generic 32 cross hello. Why is here Power PC? What the heck have I done there? Probably some build glitch. So let's see in the config, if something is in the config that would be not Sun for you. By the way, how many num CPUs or SMP, where is, yeah, maybe this is, by the way, I think I had this another kernel already here, only actually I could also change the viewer. It could actually be that it is this one here. I had this before that the kernel became super amazingly super large. So that would be, we probably should change this actually in the default config. Let's, by the way, SVN up here. So this is a Ryzen there, because cross-compiling this certainly. And I'm actually not sure why this is not yet changed. Maybe I CD. By the way, if you like the keyboard, previous video I soldered there with a Tinsy ARM microcontroller board of ready-made keyboard conversion stuff. Conversion for using this on USB for any other PC and Mac and MIPS and whatnot. So yeah, if you like this keyboard. Anyway, architecture. So I remember that this didn't boot the last time because the kernel data, somehow the kernel was too large and somehow whatever limitations there has been, and I slightly wonder why I didn't commit this. So let's do that today, and Linux conf that also SMP. So certainly there is even not in there. So they change, the Oracle people or whoever, David S. Miller also changes this for their fancy SPARC systems that certainly we can't afford. And then this stuff doesn't boot on our vintage SPARCs anymore. So this is our generic stuff here. So probably like after that one here, like, which by the way, save. Am I in the, yeah, I'm in the right directory. So let's make this here num CPUs, like probably of all the, yeah, it's 4 is probably not even have 4 here. Let's build here SPARC 1 Linux. This is cross-compiling that, and yeah, that takes on this Ryzen. Probably, actually, we could check. Let's fact check that, how long that took. Build SPARC, that would be optimized SPARC that ADM packages Linux. So yeah, cross-compiling this because build time. So that build apparently 12 minutes. Yeah, 12 minutes on this Ryzen probably. So yeah, 12 minutes instead of 12 days or something on natively. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I probably, that's it for that. Maybe later, right now the sun is going down. Probably I go out now in the sunshine and enjoy some, what, Alt F4 will make your screen zoomed in. What you're talking about. Once I've made my instruction, I will probably try making something similar to either the SGI Onyx or SGOctane. What once I made there. Okay. I would nowadays, RISC-V is pretty cool. Nowadays I would just RISC-V, and we will continue with this another day with the FPGA here. Of course this Pico RISC-V will not have an MMU, but anyway, low level stuff. And Devin may be busy sometimes, but I always enjoy the work. Finally, it's painful to read what you also, my instruction set will have graphic optimization instructions similar to the TM34. Okay, interesting stuff. Would anyone have buy a CPU like that? Well, I'm mostly interested in more standard. I think RISC-V is the future. Not really sure what you're working on, but being able to see the before just webcam was hard to read. Yeah, okay. So let's double check, by the way. Also, oops, tapping the wrong window. Suspend that. Go into SPARC, or actually we don't need to. Fun fact, I should also personally change current directory less and just go here directly, like absolute or like file name, whatever. Bootk config. So let's see, we are now building a slightly newer kernel, which is today 7, which by the way, fun fact, we could check. Always so much to do. Is there a new kernel to update? That would be kernel.org. But yeah, leave me in the comments below if 537, is this 537? Probably right. Leave me in the comments below, would you appreciate a microkernel at all, or just Linux or BSD for what it's worth? Now let's see if this has an effect. Yeah, NSCPU 4. I think we can already commit this, so this looks like it works. Architecture SPARC, and yeah. Changed SPARC 64 default Linux kernel config to maybe slightly better English by Linux kernel to default to just 4 CPUs. The problem is many data structures in the monolithic Linux kernel are statically sized, and if you build your kernel with so many whatever that was, then the kernel becomes super large and data structures become super large, and not only is it super wasteful and inefficient. The last time I checked, maybe even it was on SPARC, not sure, but not sure why I didn't commit this. Probably I don't have this open here, do I? Of cool retro connection to no. Yeah, the last time the kernel was too large, not really sure what the address limitations are there of the Zilo loader, if that is Zilo or related to SPARC. Although I don't quite understand, this is this old-fashioned vintage retro limitations, because probably they thought 8 megabyte or whatever or to be enough for everyone. There's this famous 640K quote of Bill Gates or something allegedly. So yeah, could also be that this is some memory allocation in open firmware, that there is just at this point not more memory, or I don't know what. It's a little bit strange always, these limitations, but for sure we will find out as if we eventually sometime soon write low-level code. Again, leave me in the comments below if you would appreciate this, some hardware abstraction layer with microkernel, so like nano kernel, like low-level example code, then some microkernel building onto that, and then some multi-server for stability and maintainability. I would find this amazing, but leave me in the comments what you think. And the other thing, when we hopefully sometime soon do this, I started a little bit already with x86 on DOS, of course, with Verge and Voodoo, if you're into low-level 3D bare metal programming. But we will also continue this for most likely over the next months or years, depending on what comes first here on YouTube and fun stuff. I would like to document more low-level code and provide not only minimal working examples for SPARC PowerPC, MIPS and such, of course, for the systems I have, meaning SPARC Station 2, Ultra 5, MIPS, SJ Octane, and yeah, fun stuff like that. Also PowerPC, G4, G5. So of course not writing a whole microkernel overnight, but first minimal hardware abstraction nano kernel, minimal hello world examples, and then building onto that. And yeah, I go out now as soon as the last rays of sun are shining here in Berlin, and maybe I make another live stream at midnight or so on the More Life channel or so to test this kernel. That should be ready in a couple of minutes, but sun is setting. And yeah, don't forget to share, like and subscribe on the second channel also, More Life with me there. If you are interested in more live updates, I have the feeling the more random live on the main channel, the more some people don't appreciate this. So that is why we have the More Life channel there, if you are into all this other more random updates. And then sometime soon also spinning ISO images. So if the kernel boots, then we will build the ISO image, publish it for you at home. And then also PowerPC coming next with the G4 Cube and G5 Tower, and hope to see you soon for all those amazing videos to come. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see, we have here some stuff, always MoBSD stuff. Always appreciate MoBSD stuff when you have the time, and support OpenGL instruction set. Not really sure if it makes sense to do OpenGL instruction set. I would probably make more sense for high performance to do this in some coprocessor, to have maybe some RISC-V core or whatever you're working on. It's like multi-core RISC-V for regular programs, and some dedicated coprocessors for like 1204 shader cores for stuff. By the way, fun fact, the Ultra 30 or what I have there, somewhere there in hiding also there, that you have seen also while I'm away, the corner of the Ultra 5 there, can use that next for that test. That has a Creator 3D, and the Creator 3D, I think it's a little bit overhyped. They say Creator 3D, but as far as I remember, the card itself can't do so much 3D. And once upon a time there was a Mesa driver for I think it was called SST, for sun whatever texture or something, marketing name Creator 3D. And my friend, so we got the Ultra 30 we got for free from a recycling pile. My friend, I of course took the faster one as asshole as I'm always am here with this Rock Linux and T2 stuff. So I took the slightly faster one, and so that has a Creator 3D, and my friend got the slightly slower one, and that has an Elite 3D or something of that sort, whatever the difference was. Not that he would have used it so much, so probably that is why the faster one was better. Had a better home at my side. And I think the Creator 3D stuff, the SST, didn't do much in hardware. It relied on the UltraSPARC. The UltraSPARC also has some visual instruction set. This is why I come back to that. Maybe you want to look this up in the meantime. This is some single instruction multiple data, and as far as I remember, the SST the SST driver, maybe the Creator 3D doesn't do much 3D and just is a super fast frame buffer on some dedicated faster graphic port there on the UltraSPARC, and relying on the single instruction multiple data to do the 3D. The more set it is, you will not believe, but certainly not a surprise, the SST support was removed in Mesa, although it was mostly software only. As far as I remember, it was using the visual instruction set like SSE, like single instruction multiple data, visualize SPARC instruction set to do faster, like visualized instruction set, accelerated 3D to the fast frame buffer. It's really sad that even for that was support in Mesa, but yeah, also removed because yeah, nobody cares. You can, so if I want to have a look, yeah, you can leave a post, drop me a note or leave a post there, and can take a look for account to site where you can see what you, yeah, feel free to share whatever you like. If I have a minute, I can scroll over that. So that was an update to Creator 3D, SST, and visualize instruction set, something. Anyway, that's it for today. And yeah, this is still building, not making this up. So yeah, hope to see you soon for all those updates to come.